found this car for sale online earlier this year, and it was listed for sale by the original owners. It's kind of unusual to find a 20-year-old car that's only had one owner the entire time. And they had an interesting story. They walked into a Mini dealership back in March of 2002, and that was the first month that these supercharged R53 cars went on sale here in the US. Back then, you basically just had to pick from what the dealer had, in stock or what was coming in. There wasn't really any other option at that point. And so they decided to custom order a car and wait. The car was then built in September of 2002, and they took delivery just before the end of the year. Since the car was custom ordered, they were able to pick and choose their options, and this one is pretty interesting. It's got sport package, it's a slick top, so there's no sunroof, and very few other options, just a few convenience options inside, which I'll show you in a minute. So when I saw it, I wasn't really looking to get another car, but it was just such a good blank slate, and I was able to turn it into what you see here today. So today I'm going to take you around and show you what work was done inside and out to get it to this point over the last few months. What I did to the car on the outside was added this aerodynamic body kit, which includes new front and rear bumpers and side skirts and these grills that you see. I added the driving lights on there and changed out the wheels and tires as well. Fortunately, the paint, the bodywork, the interior were all in really good condition. So yeah, it was a good foundation to start from. I guess one other thing that's kind of interesting about this car is it's monochromatic. It's got same body color, mirror color, and roof color, which isn't very typical. Usually these cars are known for, they're contrasting white roofs or black roofs and that sort of thing, but this car is all monochromatic. It is gray. It is the slowest color that Mini makes, so we added some sport stripes on there just to give it a little extra horsepower. When this Mini left the factory, it only came with 163 horsepower. That's okay. It's a lightweight car. It's not bad, but it's never enough, right? So I did a few more things to add a little more power to the car. That included adding a John Cooper Works cold air intake, John Cooper Works exhaust, and a 15% reduction pulley to give the supercharger a little bit more boost. So that helps with the horsepower. Basically, these are the typical mods you would do on one of these Minis to make them go, stop, and turn just a little bit better than stock and make them a little more fun to drive. On the interior, well, some of those changes were a little more dramatic. I'll take you inside now for a closer look. The first major change you're going to notice as you look in the car are these seats. These are actually made by Recaro for Mini. They were never available in the United States, and I was able to find a set in the UK and have them shipped over. It includes both the front and the rear seats. Very unusual. I've never seen another set here in the United States. If anybody watching has a set, leave a comment. I'd really like to hear about it. A few other changes on the inside. I added these chrome trim rings, this chrome line interior kit. That was not an option back in 2002, 2003 when this car was built. I also added a full set of toggles, so that added the rear fog light switch. So the rear fog lights were enabled, and they do work in this car. You just have to install the full switch panel and code it. A friend of mine took care of that, and everything works. Another change, steering wheel. So that's a steering wheel from a later car, 3-spoke wheel. The normal steering wheels that this car came with are totally different design. I also changed out these floor pedals. In these early years, they just came with black rubber pedals, and I was able to change them out to these newer version, which has kind of this metallic look. If you're familiar with these early Minis, anytime you get one, you should really budget for, maintenance and repairs, and this car was no exception. Quite a number of things were done to the car. All the fluids and filters were replaced. It actually needed a new clutch, so the clutch has been replaced. We replaced the front suspension bushings. As I mentioned, the brakes were all replaced, mostly just because I wanted to upgrade them. The wheels that came with the car were in rough shape. A couple of them were bent, the tires were worn, so we had these new wheels and tires to go on there anyway. And that sort of thing, is fairly common with these Mini R53s. And just make sure if you do ever get one, it's not just the purchase price, it's everything that comes after that you're going to need to be prepared for as well. But when you're done, you got a really nice ride, and it's just a blast to drive.
I also added, oh shit.